Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you.
Are you ready to meet and really take in Temple Hayes? Wow. Give yourself a great big hand. Give yourself a standing ovation. Give yourself a standing ovation. Welcome to the place where there's no guilt, no shame, no unworthiness. Welcome to eternal life. Yes? So there's a couple that have a couple of mischievous boys, and they heard that there was some clergy, there was this guy that he could really help with that. He was successful in working with small children and helping them tune back in. And so he goes to their home, and he brings in the first youngest boy, and he says to the young boy, he says, "Where, son, is God?" And the little boy's eyes get real big, and he goes, "I don't know." "Son, where is God?" "I don't know." And all of a sudden, then he went to evangelism and started pointing. "Son, where is God?" And the little boy took off and ran and put himself in the closet. Well, when the younger brother notices this, he goes in the closet and he says, "What is going on?" He said, "I don't know. I just know it's really big. I just know that God's missing, and they think we had something to do with it." Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt that God was missing? Whenever you feel God is missing, you want to do a check-in, it's because you're missing. It's because the languaging that you're using of yourself, the criticism you're using of yourself, the judgment that you're using of yourself is not user God-friendly. And when you bring that in, then you start to understand that your life certainly will shift and change because you move from a place of an ordinary life to an amazing life. Want an amazing life? Call yourself amazing. Want an amazing life? Call your God amazing. It makes all the difference in the world. The best day of my life is when I brought myself and God out of the closet. And you can think about that for other things, and that's okay too. And part of that was not intentional because I knew at 5 years old that my life would be dedicated to being a God representative. But it was a confusing message, and no, I didn't feel lucky or fortunate or evolutionary at the time because I was in a Southern Baptist community that was filled with judgment, that was filled with ageism and racism, hypocrisy, and all of those flavors, homophobia. And so as much as I loved the God that I talked to, the God that was in the public celebratory way, I knew and understood that based upon what they were saying, that God would never be for me. And I think it's important that we check that in our lives because often, unbeknownst to us, we're not talking about the current God that we learn here in Unity. We're talking and still toting around an old intellectualized concept of God that's no longer applicable because you can't straddle the fence on this one. You either have an infinite God filled with wisdom that's open, that's not a gender, not a person, or you have the other, as best as I can tell. And like you, I choose the infinite one. Yes? Because if I have an infinite God, then that means I don't have to have the same problem for 6 months. Right? And I don't have to talk about the same stories for 6 months either, because I want to be all in with that infinite stuff, you see. There's a cute little story about a mom that's watching her son, and she's kind of listening to him out the window, and he's preaching to this cat. And he's just going to town, you know, about everything and how great it is, and this is my church and all that. Well, in a minute, she passes right by him again. She can't believe it. He's actually dunking the cat in water, like doing a baptism. And the cat's, wow, you know. And she says, son, what are you doing? And he said, well, I'm baptizing the cat. He's going to become a member of the church. And she said, well, cats don't like that. And he said, well, the cat should have thought about that before he got involved here. You know, I love New Thought. I believe in it with all my heart. But I know that it's work. And I know that it implies and requests us to delve in and to be able to be a manifester in all areas of our lives. Yes? And so when we look at our lives and we look at what we're attracting or not, or we're looking at what we're experiencing or not, and we're wanting to make those changes, we want to check very clearly of what are we still believing about ourselves from the past, or from some believability that it's okay to struggle, or whatever we're carrying, so that we can step into that new dimension of who we are. Does that make sense? And so it's part of that essence. It's like Charles Fillmore says, and we state this every Sunday, it's what we call our opening prayer, the great invocation. And you learn to live your life every day that you invoke that it's a brand new day. Say that with me. It's a brand new day. You invoked it. You know, you called it in, you invoked it, it's a brand new day. Say it again, it's a brand new day. Then why, if we invoke it's a brand new day, why do we tell the day that's new what it's going to be like because of yesterday? Everybody breathe? I know none of you are doing it, but my family's watching online. And so when Charles Fillmore wrote this amazing prayer that, by the way, in my opinion, changes the cells in your body. It changes your DNA, because, you know, we've outgrown that too. You know, we can change our DNA. We go from doing, never asking, until really living in the divine. But he says that we are now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom, now erase my mortal limitations. Please forget everything I've ever told you, universe, that I thought was so special, because it's not necessarily. And bring me into alignment with the world according to thy perfect law. The manifestation of my world according to thy perfect law. And that's why I said in meditation, you're not just born, you're sent. And when you arrive with your arrival tag or your little wristband, embedded in that, already declared, this is who Tom will be. This is who Mary will be. This is who Margaret will be. This is who Susie Cute will be. It is done. It is a world according to thy perfect law. However, the law of life works almost like the law in your cars. You can go backwards in your automobile if you want to. I've done that a few times. Right? You can go against the grain of the law, and you can, and that's where we get into the struggle and the challenge. Or we can go innately with what presents itself in front of us. I grew up as a woman in a small town, mostly around the passivity of being a girl and knowing that on some level I was God's beloved and all of those things. But I kind of developed that if you want something to happen in your life, you got to make it happen. And I bet there are a few of you out there that are like that or used to be like that too. You're just going to make it happen. But once in a while in your life, you run out of make it happen. And you become humbled by, oh, I get this. I need to move in life from my way to the highway, the highest way, because there's so much more I would like to experience in my life that I don't even know yet. And if I keep telling the universe in my prayer work what I think I know is best for me, then I'm in the way. Does that ever happen to any of you? I know some of you aren't willing to raise your hand, but you're elbowing the person with you. And so that's the part that we want to train, and that's where we do our work, like the cat, is that we come to understand that we stop saying these limitations into the now moment, into the universe, and we start being open to say, well, let me see. I just want to see what this is going to be like. And it's incredible. It will change the history of your family. It will change the history of what you've come to know about yourself. Because, you know, history, it only describes us. It does not have to define us. That's the big difference of that particular expression and that particular experience. We all bleed the same color. It's hard to believe in this century that we still make a distinction of what color people are. Right? Or what their sexual interests are. Who cares? Or what they feel, or to judge people according to their age. They're too young, so they don't know enough, or they're too old, so we want to heal those things. Do you want to heal those things? I want to heal those things. And how do we heal it? You might ask us. How do we heal it? First of all, by stop doing it ourselves. And second of all, by modeling a different world for ourselves and for our children. Yes? And so, is this still working for you? Because I got lots of material I can shift over to something else. Are we still in? We still moving on? Okay. You know, the quest is the willingness to row your boat. And they told me you love to sing in this service, so you're going to sing over me. Shall we? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. One more time, take it for the team. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And then finish out. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Wow, you're good. There you go. A boat parked in the harbor is not what a boat is designed to do. We are here to comfort the afflicted, and we are more importantly here to afflict the comfortable. If that's not happening, if leaders aren't pushing toes, stepping on toes, we're not really being our true, authentic selves. If we're just talking to the norm and needing to be liked, and oh, people said that was a good talk, we are not fully expressing in our own understanding of how we're pushing our own toes and fully expressing. But we are here to row our own boat, original. Thank God for our civil rights leader, Rosa Parks, that she was willing to row her own boat. Thank heavens that on that particular day in Montgomery, Alabama, as she was on that bus for the 100th time, 200th time, 5,000th time, who knows? But on that particular day when somebody said, that is not your seat, and she said something to the effect and felt it with every cell and fiber of her being, this is my seat and I am not moving. And when you get to that place within yourself, when you get to that place within yourself, you no longer compare yourself to somebody else and what they did, what they accomplished, or how they did it, or how they did sobriety, or how they raised their children, or how they're still raising themselves. When you no longer compare your reality to anybody else's and you say, I'm not just born, I am sent, and I am alive, and I have my seat, I got my ticket, and I'm not moving. I am not going away. Because I am a force to be reckoned with. And nobody's going to stand at the end of my life with 45 minutes, and if you're famous, you get an hour and a half, and nobody's going to stand there and ho-hum. All I want people to do is say, wow, she made a lot of noise. She had a lot of energy. I don't want people to stand up and we're so glad she's here today. And that, you know, she's in this little vase and you can't see her. Hello? You want that space, that collective space. I guess they're tickled when people say, well, I'm just amazed at how much energy that you have. And I really smile really big, except when they say, you know, for your age. You know, I'm really surprised at how much energy you have. And I go, well, because I don't have it. It's not mine. I'm using universal energy. When I used to make it mine and think I owned it and I held it real tight, oh, you're my energy, you belong to me, and I'm going to allocate you specifically, and I'm going to compartmentalize this energy, and when I'm at home, I feel energized, and when I go to work, I feel deflated, and when I'm around those grandkids, oh my God, grandkids, oh my gosh, I stop doing that. I just say there's an infinite law immersed in infinite spirit, and I'm just borrowing the energy. I don't own it. You don't own these ideas. You're borrowing them. They're flowing through you. And you got your own boat. And you want to be mindful who you have in your boat. If you have people in your boat that just always hold your hand and kumbaya and they don't push your button, put people in your boat that push you. Put people in your boat that say, wow, isn't it about time you kind of stepped up a bit? Isn't that exciting? Row, row, row your boat. You know, in Matthew 14, is it 14? 18. It's Matthew. 14, 28 through 30. There you go. You know that story that Jesus was having a phenomenal day and was walking across the water, right? And Peter looks up and goes, whoa, is that you? We always question goodness, don't we? We question miracles, even though we say we have a theology that is about miracles. But is that you? Well, if that's you, then I want to be able to do the same thing, right? I mean, isn't that what turned you on about unity in the first place? That's what turned me on in unity in the first place, is that I had already come from a theology that they followed Jesus, but they didn't seem to be equating to what they could do in their lives. In unity, we not only follow, but we remember that Jesus said, great things have I been able to do. You can do greater. Don't you want to hear more people talk about the greater? And that's what happened with Peter. He was all excited about it, and he started walking across the water too. But what happened? He went back to a past paradigm. Well, I've never been able to walk on water before. I don't know. I've never gone without a drink of alcohol in any day of my life. I don't think I can do it. Oh, my God, and this 12-step meetings and the thick coffee, I don't think I can do it. You know, you have this miracle. And then we go back to a past paradigm. Every one of you, you are sent. You are healers. You are miracle workers. You are miracle makers. You are history makers, not just history takers. And we agreed before we were born, I believe it with every part of me, we agreed before we were born that we were coming to this incarnation at this time to bring new thought to the entire world. And you can call it whatever you want to, but whatever it is, get it out of the closet. Whatever it is, bring it bold, bring it mighty, bring it brave, because that is what we're here for. John Lennon, his mother taught him when he was little, you know, that life is about being happy. And that's really the secret to life, is that you're about being happy. And so when he was in school, the teacher gave him an assignment. And she asked all the students to say, what is the secret to life? And he wrote, to be happy. And she told him that he didn't understand the assignment. And he told her, you don't understand about life. That's what it's like when you don't give up your seat. That's what it's like when you don't accept self-imposed limitations. That's what it's like when you surround yourself with comfortable people who haven't been afflicted yet and say, well, you're not so bad. But you don't want to be just so bad. You want to be ridiculously amazing and shift that vibration. And I have no idea how long I've been talking or what time it is. I know it's Sunday. Is it still Sunday? Are you all right? Okay, thank you. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to look up there. There's birds and other things. Anyway. Merrily, merrily, merrily. The Power of Laughing, Norman Cousins. The Power of Laughing, healing agent. Power of being. You know, as adults, we laugh 15 to 20 times a day, if that. You know, because as we get into adulthood, we're just so serious and educated, and we have credentials, long things by our name, so impressive. But children laugh 250 to 300 times a day. Talk about living in the now, right? They are our teachers. They come in to help us remember what we on some level may have forgotten. What do? Then we tell them what we don't know, to want to make them like that and shapeshift them. But we allow them to teach us. I'm thrilled that here you have 75 to 100 children. Way to go, Unity of Houston. That's amazing. It's funny that I always love also to see Stephen Krugler. Love to see all of you. But my phone, I dropped it yesterday, and we were going to do tourist things, but we wound up being tourists of the AT&T store and seeing how that works here in Houston. And so I'm getting my phone, and it downloads really nice with the new 10. I mean, it is hot. Okay, it downloads. But you still have to enter in your username and your password. You still have to do that. And so I was like, by memory, like, and what was that one? On Facebook, is that one? No, and that was a dog's name, my password, oh yeah. Which dog was that? That was about 2 dogs ago. Okay, got it. You know, and it goes, or is it you? Don't you love it when it says, is it you? And you're like, well, who do you think it is, you know? But it's fascinating that this is the world that we live in, is that you must use your username, right? And you must use your password. And you can go after your bank, they've upgraded something on the computer, and you go to put your username, and you're trying to remember what the password is because you put it automatic, you know, on all those memory things. And so you no longer use it. You no longer use it. And all of a sudden, I mean, it's your bank. You can't even get in there to get your own money. Am I right? You know, and to use your little things and stay connected, and it's fascinating. That happens. That's why we come places like here. That's why we take the time to make an investment in a place like here, is so we will not forget our username and our password. Your username is, I am divine. Say that. I am divine. Your password is, I accept. And that's the way it is. You're not waiting on your dreams to come true. That's using the cause of an effect backwards. You're not waiting on your dreams to come true. You're not waiting on your children's dreams to come true. You're waiting on you to come true. When you come true, everything is there, right here. You can feel it, and you can know it, and you can be bold. God bless you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.